Hi, my name is Mariana Roman, and I am one of the language liaisons in HSD. Today I'm going to share with you the process to request interpretation services and some tips about best practices for working with interpreters. If you need a Spanish interpreter for general education student matters and/or any other types of meetings or events at the school, please use the bilingual staff in your building. Otherwise, your school will be billed for the cost of the interpretation services. For languages other than Spanish, the process to request interpreters is completed through the MyHSD website by selecting the Help Desk icon and completing a ticket using the New Ticket button, and then choosing Other Requests. Once there, you will have several options. Select Interpretation Translation Request, and then select the option that best fits your needs. For student services or SPED requests, please contact the SPED secretary at the school or the Department of Student Services at the Administration Center to complete your request. Now that we know how to request an interpreter, let's talk about best practices when working with interpreters. Once you know you will be using an interpreter for your meeting, make sure you have allocated enough time for your meeting. Meetings that are done using consecutive interpretation do take longer. Most IEPs and parent conference meetings are held consecutively. Make sure to share with the interpreter the purpose of the meeting and copies of any documents such as presentations, IEPs, assessments, etc. that will be discussed during the meeting as soon as possible, but at least 2 days in advance. Share a list of any terms or acronyms that are most commonly used in meetings, and know the mode of interpretation that will be used. For example, for consecutive interpretation, the oral information is conveyed after an appropriate pause and does take longer. For simultaneous interpretation, the oral information is conveyed instantly, usually requiring the use of interpretation equipment headsets. On the day of the meeting, take a few minutes before your meeting begins to meet with the interpreter to go over the agenda or any documents and information that will be shown or discussed during your meeting. Establish with your interpreter signals for talking pace, such as slowing down, voice volume, for example, speaking louder, pauses, etc. Make sure that the interpreter is seated next to the parents. Talk directly to the parents, not the interpreter. For example, do not say, ask them or tell her. Keep utterances short. Use simple and short sentences, 1 to 2 main points at a time, making appropriate pauses to allow for interpretation. Avoid excessive use of acronyms, professional jargon, slang, metaphors, abstract words, or idioms. And remember to avoid side conversations. The interpreter has to interpret everything that is said at the meeting and will have to interpret any side conversations. I hope this information is helpful to you. Please see the notes below for links to short clips to see these tips in action. If you have any questions about the process to request an interpreter, please email languageliaisons@hsd.k12.or.us. Thank you.